And in some gigantic news out there, I'm sure a lot of you guys know I don't cover Rocket League too often. Usually when I do, it's got to be a pretty big story. This is probably one of the biggest stories we have ever seen when it comes time for the Rocket League scene, both big in a good way and a not so good way. That being Cloud9 announcing not only the disbandment of their current roster, a notorious legacy roster in Rocket League history, which will go down. That being former Muffin Men, of course, joining Cloud9, nearly 3 years under the Cloud9 banner themselves. They have now officially departed ways, with Squishy going to the NRG family, and I don't need to really say much about that, guys. The fact is this: anyone who is in Rocket League knows that if you have Squishy Muffins joining Justin and Garrett over at NRG, that roster looks just deadly on paper. We'll see how it goes, and of course, even what some might call the bigger part of this story, that being Cloud9 not only breaking up that roster, but officially departing the Rocket League scene. Now, why this story is kind of a double swing, because yes, it's super cool to see NRG continue to make some great moves. It is very concerning to see an organization and a prime name when it comes time for Rocket League Esports now departing the scene. If you guys missed this a couple of months back, I actually talked about RLCS, of course, everything being moved online across all the esports out there. I will say this: when it comes time for comparing Rocket League to other esports, I greatly enjoy watching it. I don't cover it too much here on the channel because it's a relatively drama-free esport, so it's got to be a pretty big story like this one when it comes time for comparing Rocket League to other esports and how the impact of the COVID virus did affect it. I would say Rocket League is one of the more suffering esports out there currently. As we saw the initial delays with the early on this past season, along with that as well, we saw everything being moved online, the pushback of the Olympic Rocket League event with Intel as well, greatly impacting, I would say, a lot of the growth this esport has seen over the past 2 to 3 years, steadily, especially with the past couple of seasons. And along with that, last time I talked about Rocket League, guys, I talked about 13 different RLCS teams stressing an open letter brought to us by Kevin Hitt to the RLCS and to Psyonix about the issues of having a team in this esport and the lack of value it brings an organization. What's even scarier is Cloud9 was not on that list of 13 teams. Maybe some information was missed, but it does leave you wondering, of those remaining 13 teams, which one of them is next to leave. Of course, we've already seen teams like Veloce also take part in walking away from this esport entirely, and this is just... it's greatly concerning. Yes, you have an NRG roster who's looking deadly right now. You have a Cloud9 notorious roster being broken up. But the fact is this: Cloud9 is now walking away from Rocket League entirely. And it does make you ask the question, why? And could it not be stopped? I mean, we all knew a Cloud9 roster change was impending, especially given the last couple of seasons as well. We knew the right thing to do would be to make some sort of roster change. And I think a lot of people, for at least up until recently, with some rumors going around, thought, okay, they'll make a roster change. The fact is they have now disbanded a notorious legacy roster, a historied name in the Rocket League team entirely, and have gone from a roster change possibility to no team at all. And that's the concerning issue. If you guys want to watch our full video on that being 13 Rocket League teams individually writing an open letter concerned about, the pay structure of the league, the fact that players are on the spot and not the organizations. When it comes time for the esports shop, that's been pretty unclear. And the fact you have to compete in the RLCS for a full year until that comes to swing, the prize pools, and even the esports shop splits not being enough for an organization to also pay these salaries, which for a lot of the top teams have been increasing, right? A lot of issues. I've explained that in the video previously, guys. This is super concerning. And when it comes time, I know I've said it already multiple times throughout this video, I really can't give my thanks enough for this Cloud9 trio. One of the longest, if not the longest, single-standing top rosters out there when it comes time for a full, complete roster. Yes, compared to other esports, we see usually 4 or 5-man rosters, so sticking together is a lot harder. But this is up there with one of the most storied rosters sticking together for over 3 years. That's the likes of NIP CSGO, Virtus Pro CSGO, maybe even the likes of Optic Gaming at some point or another during Call of Duty. That is how well known these guys are when it comes time for the Rocket League scene, and to see them split up, it's pretty big. And even Optic was making changes every now and again, even compared them to the likes of recently we talked about last year, OG from Dota 2. Another notorious roster known to stick together, at least when it comes to a primary core. Even they have started retiring just in the past year or so due to stress and other conditions. So the breaking up of this Cloud9 roster will not be forgotten. And along with that, the bigger part of the story for a lot of people out there is as they disband, so too does Cloud9 from Rocket League entirely. And I am concerned at this point who is yet to follow. What do you guys think about this? Always open to your thoughts and discussion as per usual down below. Besides all of that, I hope you guys did enjoy. Drink your water, drink your coffee. I'm sure I'll be back talking about this sometime very soon. Until next time, take care. I'll see you guys back here sometime soon.